Quazi here. In today's video, I want to share with you how I unlocked my subconscious mind to go from being broke to becoming a millionaire. These are lessons that I've learned over the past 4 years, and I truly believe that if you learn to consciously program your subconscious mind, like the way I'm about to show you, you can literally achieve anything that you want. And it all comes down to getting a fundamental understanding of how you are currently programmed and knowing how you would like to program yourself, what you would like to achieve, and how to bridge that gap. So I want you to stick around to the very end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Real quick, before I get started with the video, you can access our exclusive bootcamp as well as our list where I can share stuff that I can't really share on the channel because of YouTube's platform limitations. The link for that will be in the pinned comments below as well as the description box down below. So click on that, you'll get taken to a page, you can enter your name and your email and you'll get access to all of the goodies. Without rambling on further about that, let's talk about the subconscious mind and why I believe it was so powerful for me. Now, this won't make sense if I don't give you a backstory of some sort. So for those of you who've been following my journey, you know, and you can go back on the channel for like the past 3 years and look back at my first video and how different I used to be and how much of a different person I was. But initially when I got started off, I had a very, very poor relationship with money. I had a very poor relationship with money. I had an extreme scarcity mindset, and I always believed money was limited. And I believed all of these things because when I grew up on TV, around me, I saw that rich people were portrayed to be evil, and I believed mistakenly that the wealthy, money makes you evil. It makes you greedy, it makes you evil. So I aspired to be a really great scientist and just be a hermit and not make enough money, an underpaid scientist, right? So for my whole entire teenage life, that perspective was always there because I believed money was evil. Not only did I believe money was evil, and it wasn't just because of societal conditioning, I believe that I used to believe money was evil because it actually kept me in my comfort zone. If I believed that money is evil, then I wouldn't have to go after it. I wouldn't have to put myself out there and make myself vulnerable trying to make it and trying to do the things that I want to do. Even if I did put myself out there, I could justify my failures. So have you ever had it, you kind of like half-heartedly do something, you make an intention, you're like, oh, if I fail, it's fine because this was never going to be successful anyways. That's exactly what my attitude was towards money. But then came a point in my college life where I was in a summer internship and I was supposed to get a full-time job there, but it was so horrendous, the state of that internship. I was like, I cannot do this for the next 40 years of my life. And start my life out when I'm 65 and I'm retired? This is what I would do for the next 40 years? No, there must be something more. There must be something more meant for me and for all of us. And at that time, I started to learn about personal development, the law of attraction, manifestation, all of these things. And I truly started to believe, hey, maybe we can create our realities. And then I went about and started making these YouTube videos because I had the idea to, hey, maybe I can make my own business like my 2 friends at the time did, and they both had YouTube channels. Maybe this YouTube channel is my way of building a business. And so I started that and I started making these videos, but I just didn't know how to monetize it. But then I did get the idea of monetizing it, but then there was a lot of challenge in starting up my own coaching business because of my relationship with money. I believed no one would pay for this service. Why would someone pay for it? Money is so scarce and limited. Hold on to that one client that you get. And so it was such a huge struggle for me to do sales and ask for the sale. And there was just constant doubt and constant fear in my mind about where the next client would come from. And I believe this all stemmed from this extreme scarcity mindset. I grew up thinking rich people were evil. I grew up seeing my dad being stingy with money. And so I thought it was very, very limited. And I slowly started to realize that this was a belief that I held in the subconscious mind. And because my subconscious mind was primed with this belief, I was looking, my reality, I couldn't see any opportunity to make money. I couldn't see abundance. Everywhere I looked, I could only see scarcity. Everywhere I looked, I could only see lack. It wasn't until I went from this scarcity belief to an abundance belief that I really started to grow from zero, barely making 5K a month to actually doing 20K a month, 50K a month, 100 grand a month in my business. Okay, so I want to share with you the 2 tools that helped me go from that point of, oh no, there isn't enough to go around. And by the way, There are ways in which you believe this that you're not even aware of right now. So you just need to be extremely, extremely self-aware of the conversations that you're having with yourself and what you're saying and what excuses you're making about why you're not achieving your goals. Okay, so let's get right into the 2 tools right now. The number one thing that allowed me to break out of that scarcity thinking is finally choosing my attitude consciously. I want you to remember that. Most of the time, we've chosen our attitudes unconsciously. Why? Because we just didn't even know we could choose our beliefs and our attitudes consciously. And it is your attitude that evolves to the level of belief as you keep entertaining it, and it evolves to the level of conviction. What's funny is I was speaking to someone last night, and he was telling me how he could have been a professional athlete, and he's very bulky, very healthy, very ripped. And I was asking, well, why didn't you become a professional athlete? He was like, well, when I was younger, my grandma somehow convinced me that I had soft bones. And then one day I was trying to pull something and I dislocated my shoulder. So I really believed her that I have soft bones. And dude, when I look at this guy, he has like the thickest bones I've ever seen. Like I have soft bones compared to him. But he believed that. And because of that, he didn't pursue a career in professional athletics. He could have been a professional basketball player if he wanted to. But he just didn't go all in because of that belief. So do you see how crazy that is? He didn't even choose that belief. It's something his grandma said to him when he was younger. And he stuck with it and he stayed with it. And then his reality started to show him that. And there's an important part in your subconscious mind that governs all of that. And that part is called the reticular activating system. If you want to learn all about this, I made a very, very detailed video. Just click on the little I, or I'll put in the description, about how the self-reprogramming cycle works. This is a little brief, but the other video that you should definitely watch is the video about the self-reprogramming cycle, where I discuss all of this, how it begins as a thought, evolves into a belief, influences your RAS, and then it finally becomes a conviction. And that's why I believed and stayed in that scarcity mode for so long. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But number one, consciously choosing your attitude is one of the most important things you can do. So let's say we begin with this attitude of, I'm Quazi, I currently believe money isn't out there. I want to believe that resources are not limited. There is more than enough to go around for everyone. Money is everywhere, I can make it, everyone can make it, and there will still be more left over. Let's say I want to choose that as an attitude. Of course, initially you're not going to believe it. That's completely normal. That's outside your comfort zone. There is something we can do to get ourselves to convince that reticular activating system in our subconscious mind to start getting primed with it slowly. And what speeds this process up like nothing else is number 2, confirmations. Okay? I know I said that weird, but confirmations. Confirmations. What I mean by that is, if I now choose my attitude to be, hey, there are clients everywhere, there is money to be made everywhere, then I start to look for proof consciously. I override that scarcity part of me that wants to say, oh, look, there isn't. And the only reason why I can do that is because we've conditioned it so much. There are more molecules in our brains that see scarcity than there are that see abundance, right? It is just a habit. It is just a way of being, thinking, living. You've become accustomed to thinking that way, so why would you think any other way? If I've been brushing my teeth with my right hand, it would feel weird if I were brushing it with my left hand one day, right? So that's exactly what we're doing. We're just expanding our comfort zone. We're just learning to brush with the left hand by looking at proof of why there is abundance, why there is a surplus of clients. And it can be anything little. So when I got started off, the little things I would do is every time I would make a video, I would just, instead of looking at that one negative comment to confirm that scarcity, I would look at all of the positive comments and then confirm to myself mentally, look, there is abundance. There are a lot of clients. If someone's giving me positive feedback on this video, I am making a great video. They could potentially become a client. Look, someone showed interest in one of my posts. They do want to work with me. Look, someone responded well on the sales call. Even if they don't want to work today, they will come back in the future. There will be more like this person. One person joins, there's a ton more like this person. It's easy to, on the sales call, when you get a no, you're like, oh man, there aren't going to be any more calls. There's going to be so many other calls in your life. There's going to be so many other clients and prospects. There's an infinite amount of people out there. 7 billion people in the world. 7 billion. You need 1,000. You need 10,000. You need 100,000. That's nothing. What you're asking for is literally nothing, if you truly think about it. And that is the two biggest tools that allowed me to change over time that scarcity mindset into the abundance. Finally, number 3, please, I urge you to watch this video. It is going to completely change your life. It's the reticular activating system. It's the self-reprogramming cycle. So the video will be right here. Make sure you go watch this right now. I think it's around 12 minutes long or 10 minutes long. But I promise you, once you watch this, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know this before. This is something they should teach in school, by the way. So click over here to watch that video on the self-reprogramming cycle. And thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.